So now we live in a time where Selena Gomez, even though she is, a wealthy star, she can't have an opinion. She can't post online how she feels about deportations and immigration without being made fun of by the far right or the MAGA folks. What is going on here? This is not what America's about. This is not patriotic. She deserves to be able to have her own opinion. And just like everybody else, just like you folks who are criticizing her, she can state her feelings online, on social media, just like you are.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into a heated social media controversy that has everyone talking. It all started with pop star Selena Gomez sharing her thoughts on the ongoing deportation policy in the US, sparking strong reactions from both supporters and critics. Then, CNN anchor Don Lemon weighed in with his own perspective, adding even more fuel to the debate. The internet exploded with opinions from all sides, making this one of the most talked about topics of the week. So let's break it all down. What was said, how people reacted, and why this conversation is so divisive.
So Don Lemon posted that clip about how Selena Gomez was online crying about the mass deportation that's happening in the US and how she's being mocked by the far-right media in the United States. And he goes on to say this often said refrain of American media: this is not who we are. This is not what America's about. But isn't it though? Isn't it who you've become? American media seems to have this, what I call sentimental idealism of America, that how they are the best country in the world and their ideals and morals are superior to everyone else. And they're shocked, genuinely shocked and appalled by the things that their government says and does, including this round of mass deportation. And so the line that's really got me is, this is not who we are. Isn't it though? Isn't it who you have become? And if it's who you've become, then surely it must be who you are. Yes, you may want to go back to the days where you were a kinder, gentler, more welcoming society, but that's not who you are. So stop living in this sentimental idea that you are somehow the greatest nation on earth, the most welcoming nation on earth with the best policies, and where any man or woman can come and realize their dreams, because you are not. Stop it.
Hold up, stop. We're not doing this. She has the right to post her opinion, which she did. And then all of the people in her comments also had an opinion. We may not agree with it, but they had one. The problem is that she needs to stand in her conviction with that opinion, especially now. I mean, I get being overwhelmed and I get deleting a video because of whatever, but you need to stand behind your convictions right now. So if you believe in what you're saying, people are going to come after you right now. It's just how it is. It's happening on both sides because we are all fighting for something. But is what you're fighting for worth it? They stand behind the bullshit that flies out of their fucking mouths. They stand behind that. You need to do the same. We cannot coddle her. This bitch can get in a fucking private jet and fly to another country and get the hell out of here. All of us have no choice. The only choice we have is to fight for us and to fight for others. Because other people like that will go quiet because they're getting attacked. We're attacked daily. So as much as I feel for her, I don't feel for people who will not stand behind their convictions. So stop.
Hi, Dawn. Good morning, sweet cheeks. How you doing, handsome? So let's talk about this. So you are all reclaimed because Selena Gomez had some feelings and she wanted to cry about the deportations. Of course she can have her feelings. Of course she can have all the feelings in the world. She can cry to the world. She can show us her feelings and how bad she feels. But when she is being untruthful, in those feelings, that's where I have a problem. I don't have a problem that you have feelings. I have a problem when you present lies to people that only get their news from TikTok. So she has 500 and some odd million people that follow her on TikTok, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And when people get their news from these elitists that have their feelings, that's where I have a problem. That's where I draw the line, because she's screaming, "Oh, the poor children! Oh, I can't help. What can I do? What can I do?" First of all, as I was scrolling earlier on TikTok, I saw a video of our new DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem, and she was actually riding along with ICE and with a few other, I think the police, and she was going with them on their ICE detail of the morning to do some of these deportations, to find some of these criminals. And they were describing exactly who, they said the name, they said exactly what he had been charged with and was guilty of, and they said, "We are going to pick this person up." When they picked the person up, there was some collateral damage. There were 3 people with them that had minor minor felonies. Okay, so he had felonies. One was rape, one was malicious intent, something, and there was something else, assault with a deadly weapon, I believe. And like I said, there were 3 other people that were collateral damage, that were undocumented. They were also illegal aliens, and there were 3 children with these people. There were no women, but 3 children. Now, first of all, if you were hanging out with, let's say you were hanging out with a rapist or a burglar in the United States, and you were a citizen of the United States, and you were caught in a house with them, and you were trying to hide them, you would go away also for aiding and abetting. Okay, so that's the collateral damage that the United States citizens have to deal with, collateral damage. Now, they did go on to talk about what would happen to the children. Well, obviously, they're looking for any mothers, aunts, sisters, brothers, grandma, grandpa, anybody that would take these children. If not, they would be placed with CPS until someone could be found. That does not mean they're going to be deported. They're looking for people that can take these children. So, Selena, stop the tears. And, Don, let me ask you a question. Were you this upset? And I don't remember seeing a video of you coming out and protecting Nelly and or Snoop Dogg when they just sang at the inaugural ball. Okay, so they both performed at the inaugural ball at the invitation of President Trump and his team. They also had a view. And so you're saying, well, how come everybody's coming at Selena? That's just so unfair. Well, what's so unfair about that? I mean, she is spouting lies. So let's be consistent here. You've either got to support Selena, you support her for her free speech. You need to support Snoop Dogg, and you need to support Nelly for their choices also. They made choices also to do what they did. And yes, I'll support anybody. But again, they have to be telling the truth. And she's not telling the truth. She's crying to her people that she knows they don't do their research. They don't know what's really happening. They listen to these young elitists tell them what they want to hear. Not fair. It's not right. It's not right. So let's be consistent. We can support anybody that wants to speak whatever, but you got to speak truth. Because if you don't speak truth, then, well, you're just a hypocritical liar.
Selena Gomez's comments on the recent deportation have stirred up a major debate, and honestly, it's not surprising. Immigration has always been a hot button issue, and when someone as famous as Selena speaks out, people are going to have strong opinions. But the way things have escalated with politicians calling for her deportation and Don Lemon stepping in to defend her just shows how polarized this conversation has become. First, let's talk about Selena's statement. She was emotional, she was clearly distressed, and she was speaking from the heart. She said, "All my people are getting attacked, the children. I don't understand. I am so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't." That is a raw human response to what she sees happening. And let's be real, she's a Mexican American woman. Of course, she's going to feel personal connected to immigration issues, especially when it comes to mass deportation affecting Latino communities. Some people criticize her, saying she was being overly dramatic, but for a lot of people, this isn't just a political issue, it's their reality. But then we saw the backlash. Some conservatives were quick to dismiss her, saying she was just another Nollywood ally speaking on something she doesn't understand. They argue that deportation are necessary part of enforcing immigration laws, and Selena was ignoring the legal aspects of the situation. And then there were the more extreme reactions, like Republican politician Sam Parker suggesting that Selena herself should be deported. That is where the conversation went from a policy debate to outright hostility. Telling someone who was born in the US that they should be deported just because they express an opinion that is not just absurd is dangerous historic. It plays into the idea that if you criticize the government, you don't belong here, and that is not how democracy works. Now enter Don Lemon. He made a TikTok responding to the backlash against Selena, and his main point was that she was showing empathy, something that should be encouraged, not mocked. He said, "Mocking someone for showing genuine concern is not what America is all about. We should be encouraging open dialogues, not shutting them down." And he's right. Whether or not you agree with Selena's stance, she wasn't calling for violence, she was spreading misinformation. She was just expressing her emotion about something she cares about, but because the issue is so political charged, people immediately saw it as an attack on their beliefs. What is interesting is how people reacted to Don Lemon's defense of Selena. Some praised him for calling out the hypocrisy, pointing out that when celebrity speaks out in favor of conservative causes, they are often celebrated. Others, however, accuse him of visual signaling and trying to stay relevant after his departure from CNN. It's funny how people can't just take someone's words as face value anymore. Everything has to be seen as some kind of calculated move. And then there is the broader issue at play here. The way immigration is discussed in America, for some, is purely a legal matter. They see undocumented immigrants as lawbreakers and believe that deportation are just law enforcement doing their job. But for others, it's a humanitarian crisis. They see families being torn apart, children left without parents, and communities living in fear, and they feel that something needs to change. The problem is, these two sides are rarely willing to listen to each other. Instead of having a productive conversation about immigration reform, we get social media wars and personal attacks. This whole situation also raises the question, should celebrities speak on political issues? Some people argue that they should stay in their lane, that their jobs is to entertain, not to influence public opinion. But let's be real, celebrities have platforms, and with that comes responsibility. Whether we like it or not, they shape public discourse. Selena Gomez has over 400 million followers on Instagram. When she speaks, people listen, and she's using that influence to talk about something that matters to her. Whether you agree with her or not, she has every right to use her platform how she sees fit. At the end of the day, this controversy says more about the state of political discourse in America than it does about Selena Gomez or Don Lemon. We have reached a point where empathy is seen as weakness, where people would rather attack the person than address the issue, and where a single comment can spiral into a national debate. And why it's good that we are talking about these issues. The way we are talking about them needs to change. Instead of immediately jumping into outrage, maybe we should take a step back and actually listen to each other. Because if we don't, we are just going to keep having these same arguments over and over again without even making real progress. So what do you think? Was Selena Gomez right to speak out? Was Don Lemon right to defend her? And why do you think this issue became so divisive so quickly? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Let us share our thoughts and perspective with one another. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on this story and more. I will see you in the next video.